Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing on this chilly evening? I'm doing just fine. Trying to get my TV together as usual. I tried to do it. I thought I did it before I got on here, but I didn't. I got it on my little aquarium. But that's not while I'm up here, y'all. I got great news. I am finally getting a new washer. What? Yes, I is. I'm getting a new washer. Um, they told me today. Let me get rid of this gum. Where's my la 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 la? You know, it had been about a week since I had called them. Oh, okay. It had been about a week since I had called them about my wash machine. I left it on their voice. Look at me, I'm opening another stick of gum, put the old stick that I had in my mouth out, and oh my goodness, I'm all confused, y'all. But anyway, I had called them and left a message on their voicemail that, I had a problem with the washing machine. I didn't get no response. It went a few days, and so I didn't get no response. And so one day, I think it was the same day I had gone to see about my new phone. And while I was out, I stopped at the office and I mentioned it to her again. And I forgot about it myself. And, because I had already taken the rugs out of the washer, but yet and still, what brought it to my attention was they started to stink. Oh, I'm jumping ahead of myself. But anyway, I stopped at the office and I told the receptionist, about it. I said I had left a message on the voicemail about my wash machine. I said, but nobody has come yet. And so she said she was going to, put it back in and everything. I'm talking to a live person now. I'm not talking to the voicemail or whatever. And so she says, can we come in if you're not home? I said, yeah, they can come in. For something like this, they definitely can come in. And I forgot about it. And then, I think it was last night or Saturday night, that I had this smell. So I had taken my trash out. My trash is stinking. But then I said, I only smell it in a certain area. I said, maybe somebody else's trash is upstairs. It's coming through the vent. I'm not thinking about the washer. Trust me, I'm definitely not thinking about the water that's standing in that wash machine because the clothes hadn't actually washed. The machine had actually filled up with water, but it had not agitated or anything. It just stopped. It just said, well, hey, I ain't going to work no more. I'm tired. I did all I can do. That's it. Don't try to make me work no more. And so anyway, I kept smelling it. I said, okay, I got to take my trash out. So I jumps up, take my trash out. And I still smell, I'm sniffing around. I'm just like a hound dog. I'm trying to find out where this smell coming from. And I didn't put two and two together, that the washing machine was probably smelling. I didn't think the washing machine should be smelling because I had taken they were rugs, my the red rugs that I was telling you about. And I had taken the rugs out, and let them drip outside on the porch. You remember that? So I'm not thinking that that's the smell because the machine had not even agitated or anything. I took the rugs out before I thought I did, before they would stink. You know what I mean? I know washing machines, you leave water in a washing machine, it stink. I mean, like clothes in there, it will stink. But I didn't think this stink because it was the furthest thing from my mind. And so it finally dawns on me, that's that washing machine, because when I got right there in that area, that's where I could really, get a whiff of it. It wasn't really overpowering or anything like that, but I got a whiff of it. And I lifted the lid, and that's it. That's the culprit. And so I got on the horn again this morning. Today. It wasn't earlier this morning because I was talking to my daughter earlier. And so after I got through talking to her, and I got a new grandchild that was born. Let me tell you about that after a while. You know, I told you I was having two new ones. And she had her baby, didn't even tell her grandmama. Anyway, I called the office again. I said, nobody has came over here. You know, matter of fact, I had to leave it on the machine again. I had to leave it on the voicemail again because nobody had answered the phone. And so I'm laying down taking my nap. Forgot about the phone call and everything. Because I said, you know, they got crazy office hours and everything. And so I was laying down and the phone rang. I said, my goodness, who is that? And then that was the first call I got. It seems like to me when you lay down, if you want to relax, that's when these phone calls come in. And so I looked at the phone the first time. It was a number, you know, was it a wrong number? But, you know, somebody probably was trying to sell me something. So I didn't recognize the number, so I didn't answer it. And the second call, you know, a little while later, the second call comes in. I'm not going to answer. I said, I'm not going to answer this. I'm just going to let the answer machine pick it up. And so I heard it, and you know, I could still hear my answer machine in my bedroom on the phone. And so I said, oh, shoot, that's my office. And so I helped her up and grabbed the phone while she was talking. And, excuse me. And so she said she was going to send somebody out in a few minutes. I guess she realized what had happened, you know, that somewhere, you know, I was overlooked because it had been over a week. I said, okay. So I had to jump up out of the bed, put some clothes on really quick, even though I could have stayed in the bed if I wanted to. You know, they got the pass key because I'd already given them permission to come in the house anyway. But I didn't give them permission to come in my bedroom. But anyway, so I jumped up out of the bed because it was time. Because I was getting hungry anyway by this time. So I was getting up to peel me some potatoes and fry up some potatoes and onions because I was sick of chicken salad. And so I was doing that. And bing bong, lo and behold, I tell you, it wasn't even hardly 10 minutes. They were here for real, for real. I guess they thought I probably was going to put in a complaint. But I ain't that type of, you know, tenant. I don't just complain about every little thing like that. Because, like I said, you know, my clothes were clean. And the only thing that, you know, I had was the rugs. My first 2 loads of clothes that I had washed that particular day when the wash machine broke, I had already washed 2 loads of clothes. So I ain't worried about the clothes. I ain't worried, you know, that I don't have any clean clothes or nothing like that. If I had, you know, been in a situation like that I didn't have no clean clothes, I would have stressed that, you know, that I do not have any clean clothes. Somebody got to get out here right away. That's why it wasn't in my mind. Because I don't watch that much, you know, when just me, myself. I know this is boring, y'all. So let me change the subject. My granddaughter had her baby. And I didn't know. My daughter said that she had called her. And she told her she had the baby. So what? She had the baby? And I was wondering why she hadn't called me back or text me or something, you know, because she's the one that, you know, always keeps on the up and up, you know. And she had the baby, I think, last week. Or was it a week? What did she say? What's the date? I don't know what the date is. I forgot what date she had the baby. I don't know, y'all. But I think it was last week sometime. She had a little boy. Yeah. So I'm a grandmother. I don't know how, great-grandmother. I don't know. This must be about 20 great-grandkids. I got a lot of great-grandkids. I got more great-grandkids than I do grands. I'm telling you, them some busy little beavers. And then I got one more coming. I forgot when hers is coming too. Busy, busy, busy. Oh, well, so that's my story, y'all. I'm sticking to it, but I had to come up here to tell you because I finally got a chance to take me a nap after they left, and then I had ate me some potatoes, and you already know my stomach was full by this time, and so I'm ready to take a nap. That's why I'm so late coming up here. It's because, you know, of that. I had to get my nap. I had to get me a nap because I was tired. I was already tired. And so when they came, the first tech, the maintenance guy came, and he says, I'm going to tell them that you need a new washing machine. I said, oh, okay, it's about time. I wasn't expecting him to come back. He said he was going to tell the boss, which is the head of maintenance, said that he was going to tell him that I needed a new washing machine. I said, okay, wow. I said, it's about time. I didn't know he was coming back because I got up and locked my door, and I was, like I said, I was peeling potatoes when they came and everything. I mean, matter of fact, I was peeling potatoes when they came. And so I'm cooking potatoes. And all of a sudden, here comes my doorbell work again. I'm like, who is it? It's maintenance. Open the door. There's the head of maintenance and the guy that had came, the worker that had came. I guess the head, the head of maintenance, he had to check out to make sure that this wash machine doesn't work. And lo and behold, the wash machine did not work. It wouldn't do nothing. Matter of fact, the water is still sitting in my washing machine as we speak. Well, anyway, that's exciting news, y'all. Things are working in my favor for a change. If they had asked me, I would say, as long as these wash machines been in here, they should have been changed. Like if somebody moves out of the apartment, they put down new floors, they give them new appliances, everything, is new at this day and age, this time. Because these things, like I said, are like over 25 or 26 years old. And these are the same washers that's been here that they've been patching up. But when somebody moves out, they give them new floors, new carpet, new appliances. The lady upstairs got new appliances. The lady over there got new appliances. But see, I've been here the longest. And when you're here for a long time, it seems like they neglect you because you've been here a long time. Yeah. But anyway, I'm very happy about that. We're going to wash some clothes. I'm going to wash as soon as it gets... So he said it might come tomorrow. I said, tomorrow? He said, right. He said, tomorrow or Wednesday, that I should get my new washer. I said, wow. That's what I call cooperation, y'all. Then I already got something that I got to wash. I got to wash all my bedding. Every single thing on my bed has got to be washed. Not the crocheted top, that I put on there. Not those. I don't wash them like that. But I got to wash my comforters, the pillowcases, and then I got pillowcases I'm throwing away because I'm going to order some more pillows from Amazon. But I got to somehow or another get my dust ruffle put back on here, on the bed, because I haven't had my dust ruffle around my mattress since they came in here and did the floor. But I need help with that because the mattress is too heavy for me by myself, so I don't have the dust ruffle on there. So, that's my story, y'all. Story of my life. But it's a good story. I like that. I like it. Yeah, I'm very happy about that because that's what I had said before. They should have changed it way before this hour because they keep coming over here ever so often. You know how I've been having my wash machine. The wash machine broke. They got to get my wash machine fixed. And they come over here and patch it up, and whatever they did. But I'm surprised they were able to do that. Now, if you had a wash machine in your house, your washing machine wouldn't last probably 28 years, will it? Most washers last about 10 years. That's when you've got your money's worth. But if you got your washing machine to run for 10 years, maybe get it fixed once if it goes out, and then you've got your money's worth. Yeah. So I think they're Whirlpool. All the appliances in here are Whirlpool. Except that new stove they put in there. I don't know what that is. It's a GE. That's right, GE. I see the round, GE symbol up there right now. And I don't really like the oven because I don't like the way to bake. Yeah. That's the story of my life, y'all. That's what I've been doing. So how you been doing? How was your weekend? I hope it was great. But did it rain? I'm trying to figure out. Seems like it be raining all the time. This is a darn shame about what's going on over there in LA, though. And our president is gonna deploy the Marines. He already got the National Guard over there, 2,000 of them. And now he's gonna get some Marines. You know the Marines, they're the first one that goes out in a war, right? They're on the ground, It's the Marines, they were on the front line. What is this, a war against America itself? You calling out the Marine. What next? Oh my God. Yeah, we better start stocking up, y'all. We better get some canned goods and something that's going to last in that cabinet for a while. I would say you should have something, enough food in your house to last anywhere from like six months at least. At least 6 months, y'all. No less. You know, like non-perishables. That's what I'm talking. Non-perishable food. Canned fish. Canned chicken. You know, someone, I'm trying to think who it was that I was watching. I didn't know Tyson made canned fish. I don't know if it was Miss Pam or who it was that I was watching. But anyway, it had, they had the canned chicken by Tyson's. And it looked so good. I said, I'm going to look for that on the shelf the next time I go to the grocery store because I'm planning to stock up. But you know, I already got a little stash in there, but I don't know if it'll last 6 months. And I got to replenish it. You know, ever so often I got to try to use some of it up and then replenish it, you know, replace what I've eaten up. I eat my peaches up right away. And the last pineapples that I bought weren't that great. They were those, but they weren't that great. They were hard to chew. I actually cooked them. They still was kind of hard to chew. I had to, you know. But that's just me. You know, it might not be that way for you. Yeah, I would. That's what I would do, y'all. I would do it just like, you know, 6 good months. And you can get the dry milk or you can get the whole milk that you put on your shelf. That, you know, I think, I know Horizon makes it, but it's expensive on Amazon. I think it's like, you get like, I think it's like 6 of these little boxes. Like something like the kids get in school, but they're bigger. They look about that, maybe like that. That you would get about that size, that height. And I think when I looked on Amazon for them, because my sister said she had bought some before, and those things were like I would say $9 for 6. Yeah. But I said I would get at least one to put in my stash and get one dry milk. But that dry milk tastes so terrible that I bought the last time. I probably wouldn't even drink it anyway. But the best dry milk that I ever had that we used to get years ago, I don't know if they still make it or not, is Carnation non-fat dry milk. Have you seen that on the shelves anywhere? That's why I said I was going to check that out to see if I could find those, because that was the best. But that other dry milk, well, the government dry milk, because we used to get the government boxes over here, you know, where I, you know, live. That milk was horrible, because I tried it. Yeah, but when we was growing up, it was Carnation instant, non-fat, dry milk or something like that. Yeah. And on that note, y'all, I'm going to stop jibber-jabbing, because I want to play a couple games of Scrabble before I go tuck myself in for the night. And on that note, I go in love, and I'll see you again soon.